Welcome back. The Falcons are on the clock. They traded up for this pick, and the pick is in. Wait for it to come up on the screen, but we had several picks come in during the break while I was uploading. The Green Bay Packers, who traded the Minnesota Vikings, traded pick 34 to, took Christian Watson, wide receiver, North Dakota State, and I think that's a good choice. That was a good move because they needed a good wide receiver. The Tennessee Titans traded with the Jets, and they got the 36th pick, and that Titans had the 35th pick. They took Roger McCrory, cornerback Auburn, which I thought was a good move for them. And the Jets had the 36th pick. They took Breece Hall, running back Iowa State. And when he gets on that field, he can really put up some big numbers, and he can really help you win games. He can really be in the pocket, and he can really come through and keep you on the ground. And the Houston Texans, with pick number 37 short, just took Jalen Petrie, safety from Baylor. So it's been another unpredictable night again in this NFL draft. And this is really going to be one of those nights. I think another unpredictable draft is going to be in the works. So we'll wait and see what happens. And the Falcons pick is in. We're waiting for it to come up. I think they could either take a quarterback, wide receiver, or linebacker, running back, or offensive lineman. We'll see. So, because they do need a lot of pieces of the puzzle. And I feel that there's a lot of players still available on the board. And the Browns are 6 picks away from being on the clock. But the Falcons pick is in, and we're hopefully waiting for
Let's see what the Falcons have decided to do.
And so let's listen to NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell. And we'll wait to hear who the pick selection is. So let's listen into Roger Goodell.
You guys salute him better than ever, but we salute him and thank his family and the Tragedy Assistance Program for Survivors, TAPS, which offers care to the grieving families of lost military loved ones. Now it's time to make the pick. I'm going to turn it over to Minerva, Gadsden's mother, a fallen hero, Clifford Gadsden. Minerva, go for it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Okay, let's go. With the 38th pick in the 2022 NFL Draft, the Atlanta Falcons select Arnold Ebukati, linebacker, Penn State.
And they said Arnold
And she pronounced his name correctly, which has been
Ebukati,
transfer from Temple at 9.5 sacks.
defensive end from Penn State. And I feel that they need a defensive end. That was a good move for Atlanta to take him.
Maryland and Mel Pro Football Focus.
And I do feel Atlanta does need that. And I feel that was a good move. So now we're up to pick number 39. And the Chicago Bears are now on the clock, are going to be getting on the clock momentarily. But he put up a lot. He had 28.5 tackles, 120 tackles, 28.5 total TFLs, and 15.5 sacks. He put up a lot of big numbers with Penn State last year. And he could really be one of those players that can really really help you win games in the NFL with Atlanta. And I really feel now the Chicago Bears are on the clock, and they finished third in the NFC North, and they got a new in 2022. They got a new GM, and their key departures were linebacker Khalil Mack and wide receiver Allen Robertson. And we're waiting for the Bears pick to come in. They've gone to commercial right now, so. But the Browns are now 5 picks away from being on the clock with pick number 44. But right now, I'm going to reveal the answer to today's Scott Sports 101 NFL football NFL draft trivia question. Only 2 running backs have been selected in the top 10 in the NFL draft since 2010. Who are they? A. Trent Richardson and Ryan Matthews. B. Ryan Matthews and Doug Martin. C. Trent Richardson and C.J. Spiller or D. C.J. Spiller and Ryan Matthews. If you said C. Trent Richardson, number 3 and in 2012, and C.J. Spiller, number 9 in 2010, hold that honor. You are correct. Trent Richardson, number 3, 2012, and C.J. Spiller, number 9 in 2010, hold that honor. Though neither running back played for the team that drafted them. And I will have another NFL, and I will see if I'll have another NFL draft trivia question tomorrow. But you may get one, you may not get one. We'll have to wait and see. If not, you'll get one on a normal podcast of Scott Sports 101. Now, getting back to talking about the Bears are on the clock. Their pick is in. We're waiting for it to go. I think they're going to take a wide receiver or offensive lineman, defensive end, linebacker, or cornerback, because they're looking to really build this team up and have a better record than last year and have a better season. And I know they'd like to get back to the playoffs. Now I think Nick Foles will be starting for the Bears this upcoming season. And now that Trubisky is now with the Steelers that signed him, so I think their starting quarterback will be Nick Foles. But Chicago does need a lot of pieces of the puzzle, so there's no question about it. There's a lot of good players still available on the board, so we're going to have to see who they take. But I think that they are, and they were 6-11 last year. There were 6 wins, 11 losses last year. So they're hoping to really improve their record this year. So, yeah, and Khalil Mack and Allen Robertson were their 2 departures. And the offensive line, 58 sacks allowed, which is the most in the NFL. And so let's wait and see who the Bears pick is. We're waiting for that pick to come in on the screen. And so we'll wait and see what happens. And they're about to come back on the air right now.
More driven. The Chicago Bears traded out of this year's first round in order to acquire their quarterback.
And once again, these picks have been coming in pretty quick tonight. And we have had a couple of teams that have traded. So it's another unpredictable night, as the case may be. So you never know what's going to happen. But I still feel the Browns are targeting wide receiver George Pickens of Georgia, and I think they just might take him. We'll wait and see when they get on the clock with pick number 44, which is now 5 picks away. We're about to find out who the Bears took with the 39th pick in this year's draft, who they're going to take. And we're about to get it right now. Let's listen in. And Matt Forte, the second-round pick by the Bears in 2008, is going to announce the pick.
In the 2022 NFL Draft, Chicago Bears select DB from Washington, Kyler Gordon. We're fortunate Kyler
And they select Kyler Gordon.
Kyler Gordon, who is actually here tonight.
Kyler Gordon,
A dynamic
a cornerback from Washington,
along with Trent McDuffie,
which I do think the Bears did need a cornerback.
Pac-12, and they both have
I feel that the Bears needed that. that was one of the pieces of the puzzle they needed, and I think he put up some big numbers with Washington last year.
From the suburbs of Chicago, by the way. An extremely funny comedian.
And so we'll see if he can do some good in the NFL and put up some big numbers. And he was the first team all Pac in the Pac-12, and he really put up some big numbers with Washington last year. And I think he's really going to do the Bears some good. And I think Bears fans are happy, and the Chicago Bears themselves are happy. And he's 5'11", 194 pounds. This guy, he can really do some damage on the field. And he had 97 tackles, 2 interceptions, 12 passes defended, and that's really big numbers when it comes down. That's what it comes down to, and so so this was a good pick I feel this was a very good pick selection by the Chicago Bears. So, and the Seattle Seahawks are going to be getting on the clock here in just a few moments. We'll have them on the clock, and so we'll see who they pick with their trade of Russell Wilson. Excuse me. With their Russell Wilson trade, they took last night, they had the 9th pick. They took Charles Cross, offensive tackle from Mississippi State, which I thought was a good move. And they might be looking to get. They're one of the teams that might be interested in getting Baker Mayfield. They have a new quarterback, Drew Lock, with having traded Russell Wilson to Denver for 3 players and 5 picks, including 9th overall. So I think they're going to take a guard, center, defensive back, or a cornerback. Those are the pieces of the puzzles that I feel needs and Mel on ESPN needs. He feels that that's what they need too. But still the big question is when is quarterback Malik Willis going to go off the board? He still hasn't gone off the board, and we're still looking for a quarterback to go off the board for the first time tonight. So, and the Seahawks pick is in. We're waiting for it to come up on the screen, and we'll see what they took in just a moment. But last night, as I mentioned, they took Charles Cross, offensive tackle, Mississippi State, which I felt was a good move for them that they took him. And so, and they have 7 picks remaining. They finished last in the NFC West. They allowed the highest pressure percentage in the NFL. And they've got a tight end, Noah Fent, they just got, and they have defensive end Shelby Harris, linebacker Usima. And I really feel that this is going to be, we'll see what pick, but I do feel guard, center, defensive end, and cornerback, those are the pieces of the puzzle that the Seattle Seahawks need, and I'm waiting for it to come up on the screen. But well, the big question is, we're still wondering if any quarterbacks are going to go off the board tonight. So hopefully we will get a quarterback, hopefully to go off the board. And but Seattle's hoping to really have a better season with them having Drew Lock, but they do want to get a better record than what they had last year. And there's a lot of players still on the board that Seattle could be interested in taking. So we're going to see who they take in just a few moments. And because their pick is in, and we're waiting for it to come up on the screen. But I'm running out of time for this segment, so I'll take a break. I will let you know after I upload this video. Stay with us. More NFL draft coverage coming up.